G'day viewers, I wanted to have a bit of a chat with you today and explore an idea that I read about recently that I found very interesting, and I thought maybe some of you would too. It was called 1000 True Fans, and the rather clever person who wrote it put forward the theory that if you could get 1000 true fans, which he basically defined as people who would buy everything you put out, people who would spend $100 on you over the course of a year. If you could get that 1000 true fans, you could make a pretty good living. Of course, whatever you're doing to produce your art, whether you're a musician, a visual artist, a performer, a writer, there's overhead. So you're not going to get the full 100 times 1,000, $100,000. But it's a seductive idea. It sounds really doable. Now, predictably, as soon as anyone says something hopeful, there's someone to jump up and be negative. And I have read some pretty savage criticisms of this piece. Oh, for those of you who like reading words, I shall put a link. It is worth reading. But yeah, of course, there are people who've been quite critical of it. And I read a few of those criticisms and they raised some good points. But I found they were often like too literal. The 1000 true fans doesn't have to be exactly 1,000. It doesn't have to be the same 1,000. They don't have to spend $100 every year. It was an arbitrary number, the guy said, so you could wrap your head around it. And I actually talked to some people I know who are in the biz. Yes, I know people, and specifically people who work in stand-up comedy. And they said, that's true. A working stand-up knows to be successful, they actually have to get the same people coming back. They can't hope to get a completely new crowd every time. They know they're starting to succeed when they see the same dozen people repeatedly, and that tells them they're starting to build up a groundswell that means they could actually start making money. So it's a reasonably sound principle. But one of the reasons it's interesting to me is, hey, I'd like to give up my day job. Who wouldn't? I'd like to make a living doing this sort of thing or something that comes out of this sort of thing. Wow, could that be any more vague? But I think you understand what I mean. I do this for fun. I do this in the hope that maybe something will come of it, but I'm going to keep doing it as long as it's fun. There's no arbitrary, I'll do it for this long, and if I haven't made lots of money, I'm giving up. I will do it for as long as it's fun, or until I start making $1 squillion, whichever comes first. But that's what I'm doing. I'm having fun, having a creative outlet, and hopefully building something that I can make a living out of somehow at some point. Which of course brings us to, how would I make money? Well, the YouTube Partner Program is a start. I have no idea how much money I'll generate from that. I will take a guess, this much ahead of fuck all. I'm not going to make a living from that. I strongly suspect that, say, Smosh, for instance, would be generating enough traffic to actually make a decent living off the ad revenue alone they'd get out of the partner program. I don't know how far down the partner list you would have to go till you reached a cut-off of anyone who's making any sort of a living, because it's all secret. No one talks about it. And I don't know how much I'm likely to make because I haven't got anything yet. So I have nothing to measure it against. But my basic assumption is I'm not going to make money from the partner program, although it's nice to have something there. One of the things people often say in comments is, ooh, are you selling those t-shirts you make? Now, some of them, my original t-shirts, were made, I was going to say by me, which would be a dirty lie, because my lettering's not that good. My girlfriend does the lettering on my original shirts. I've been getting a bunch of new shirts lately on sale, which has been kind of funny to me, because a lot of people are going, oh, that's an awesome shirt, I wish I had it. And they go, I got it on sale. The shop in the mall that had them clearly didn't sell them all in summer, and so I actually got them really cheap, which is kind of ironic because now people like them and would like to get them, and they're not in the shops anymore. Oh, look, if you're Australian, the shop where I got the vast majority of the shirts I've been wearing lately is called JJ's. It's a chain, it's all over the place. It's vaguely possible you might get one, and I'm not being paid by them because I'd be promoting something they're selling now, which is winter wear in Australia, as opposed to leftovers from last summer that may or may not still be in the shop. But hey, people say, get me to wear a t-shirt and people want to buy it. So maybe someone should sponsor me for that. Maybe I could make money that way. So I could try the t-shirt sales route and see if I could make money out of that. But I'll be honest with you, in order to make enough money to make it worth giving up my day job, unless I was charging an utter fortune for the shirts, I would have to sell thousands of them over the course of a year for it to be worth it. Maybe I could one day, but that ain't going to happen right now. So it hardly seems worth the effort, because particularly when the shirts are being handmade, that's really labour intensive. And unless you're getting a margin of, 20 or 30 bucks, and that's margin after buying the base t-shirt and posting it to someone. So unless you're getting a margin of 20 or 30 bucks, which would mean charging 40 bucks for the t-shirt, unless you're getting that margin, it's not really worth it because it's hard work. Maybe I could get a production line, or maybe I could set up a cafe press thing, so A, there's no effort on my part, and B, it's just like a set margin, so it's all gravy if someone buys it. I've never bothered to. I don't know if it'd be worthwhile. Comments are an interesting place to tell me what you think. While I've been thinking about this, I decided, hey, if I think I'm going to make money online, I probably should start giving some money to people I like online. I've actually been buying t-shirts and other things from some websites I like. I bought a DVD of Red vs. Blue Machinima, which I've always liked, and I'd watched for free online. And this t-shirt is not from the store. This is from online. This is from one of my all-time favourite websites, The Onion, theonion.com, which a lot of people, if you're into comedy, would know of. It's one of the most well-known, popular comedy sites on the web. And this was actually cheap. This was on sale. This was less than 10 bucks American. So, hey, if you like it, go out and get one. I will be doing a bunch of these new shirts. The first ones that arrived were from The Onion. I got 2 from them. I got a couple coming from a webcomic I like called XKCD. When I say like, I often steal stuff from it. It's not really stealing because I always credit. And I actually wrote to the creator of XKCD and said, do you mind if I do that? And he said, give me credit, go for it. So I bought a couple of t-shirts, and you might even recognize some of the quotes on the shirts I'm getting because I've used them. I'm going to put a link to XKCD as well. The other interesting thing about XKCD, besides providing me with some material, the creator, owner of the site, actually makes a living from the site. Publishes the comic 3 times a week for free, no advertising, I don't think, but he sells t-shirts and prints of various things, and he sells enough to make a living. So there you go, it can be done. But he's really popular. I mean, he's like almost Smosh popular. He gets thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hardcore fans. So I'm not surprised he can make a living out of it. So I've rambled a bit, but that's the basic thought I wanted to put in your head. 1,000 true fans. Who thinks that's a viable thing? Who thinks it's a good thing? Because one of the potential futures is a lot of people making a living and producing really interesting stuff, but not so much megastars, like no Rolling Stones, no U2, but a lot of people who find a fan base and do quality original stuff. Who knows? Maybe it's all a pipe dream and the evil corporations will take over the internet and shut it down and we'll be back to the same old crap. I like the idea, and I like the idea of you get those fans by doing quality work. Marketing helps, but by not having a huge record company or publisher or TV station or movie behind you, just by actually doing stuff that reaches people. There are people doing it. There's more and more every day. So maybe that is the future. Who can see it? Who thinks they're going to get a future with 1,000 true fans?